So since this whole pandemic started, I've been hesitant to fly. I've looked at how Alaska and Delta are handling things in prior videos. I'll look at United Express in an upcoming video, but today we'll see what it's like to fly mainline United. It's not a favorable picture. True, not all of it is United's fault. You can tell people to do things, but it's hard to make them. Passengers will social distance.
No, they won't.
They will all wear masks.
No, they won't.
But some of it is United's fault, and I'm here to call them out on it. But Travelog, you're biased against United. You bash them all the time. Well, yes, I do. But I think the tape will speak for itself. So let's review United's 757-300 in economy from Denver to Chicago during the age of COVID. Unlike Alaska, Delta, Southwest, and JetBlue, United elected to not block middle seats. Now, it's not clear if it really makes a difference from a medical perspective, but so much of this COVID response, like airport security, is theater. Slapping the Clorox branding on everything is nice, but having a middle seat blocked is better, United. Instead, United alerts you if your flight is over 70% full and allows you to rebook for free, which is a nice idea. However, when I went to do so, I couldn't. So much for United keeping their word.
How do we know you'll keep your word?
Oh, I've given you no word to keep. In my judgment, you simply have no alternative.
I see your point.
Arriving in Denver at the regional jet concourse, I made my way to the United Club. Denver normally has 2 clubs, but they had closed one down. So in order to encourage space, United now crams everyone into a single club. Sounds more like cost cutting than being health conscious. I was warmly greeted at check-in and burned one of my day passes I had from the credit card. At first, the club looked promising, and they took safety seriously. All the food was pre-packaged in plastic, and they had some snacks that were clearly grab and go. They had installed plexiglass shields at the bar, but don't get your hopes up. Other than some beer-flavored water, anything decent you have to pay for. Last call was also at 6:45. But the main difference was that no seats were blocked like Delta did in their Sky Club. It was up to people to police themselves, and given how crowded it was, that became difficult. Returning to the terminal, it was clear to see how packed things would be. Unlike the airports in Chicago, Anchorage, Portland, and Salt Lake City that blocked seats at the gate area, none were blocked here in Denver. It's also hardly surprising to see the overflowing crowds needing assistance from United. I spread out as best I could near my gate, and got a look at my plane. This 757-300 is a very old bird, with an average age of just old enough to vote, delivered from Continental. It received a Scott Kirby refresh in 2018, tearing out in-seat entertainment, removing a lavatory, and squeezing in 20 more seats. You know, as you do. Prior to boarding, I received a text message from United saying that my plane was all clean and ready to go. Now, maybe it got a wipe down before boarding, but I have reason to suspect this text is a bit bogus. On my United Express flight before, I got the same message, and there is no cleaning crew at the airport. Like I said, perhaps a flight attendant used a wipe or something. Boarding was done by row starting at the back, but folks were bunched together much more than on my Delta and Alaska flights. There's a plexiglass shield protecting the agent, and I scanned my boarding pass on my phone. It wasn't being well managed and we all bunched up on the jet bridge. Sanitizing wipes were handed out as we boarded and were collected before departing Denver, as they wanted to keep them all there. They also explicitly asked us not to put anything in the seat back pockets. As I mentioned before, these seats are the new United Slimline ones, 31 inches of legroom and no in-seat entertainment. Yay! There is AC power though, but not USB power. Flying time was 1 hour and 55 minutes at 31,000 feet. I'm not going to cover United's in-flight Wi-Fi to the umpteenth time again, so I'll move on to the beverage service. Unlike Delta, United is actually providing a beverage service. First, they handed out this snack bag with a bottle of water and a wipe. Then I was handed a whole can of soda. For once, COVID actually results in something positive, as I can't recall the last time that happened to be an economy on United. Masks, of course, had to be worn at all times except when actively eating or drinking. Other than that, the flight was in the dark and uneventful, though we did get a nice view of the Chicago skyline as we flew over the lake and circled back to land. On deplaning, they called rows from the front to the back, in theory to minimize bunching up. But we didn't receive a text reminder like on Delta, and they called so many rows at a time that I'm not sure how effective it was. Chicago as a city has its own quarantine restrictions and states on the list. United made no mention of this fact. Colorado and Utah were on the list. So I went off to responsibly quarantine for 14 days, but other than an announcement on the PA system reminding you and this sign with a QR code, there's no enforcement. And you wonder why things aren't doing so great. So I don't want to be accused of libel here. If you fly United, chances are you'll be fine. I didn't get the same good feeling that I got on Delta and Alaska that made me want to travel more as I felt safe. This trip made me reconsider my life choices, and that's clearly not a good thing. But hey, I'm sitting here for 14 days now. I got plenty of time on my hands. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click that button and please subscribe for many more flight reviews to come after this quarantine finishes, and I'll see you on the next one.